Hi friends, it's Mrs. Perez. It's Disney Day. I love Mickey and Minnie. All right, I have a story for you, and it's called The Napping House. Audrey Wood wrote it, and Dawn Wood illustrated it. Dawn and Audrey Wood are a married couple, and they write lots of stories for kids. And this book has beautiful illustrations. Hey, as I read, I want you to be thinking about the sequence of events. So think about what happens in the story and the order that it happens. Okay? The Napping House by Dawn and Audrey Wood. And look at the dark, dreary sky. You see all that rain coming down? There is a house, a napping house, where everyone is sleeping. Look at that house. That house looks like it's sleeping too. Those windows on the top, they look like eyes. And the blinds are pulled down, like it has sleepy eyes. Everyone is sleeping. And in that house, there is a bed, a cozy bed, in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. And on that bed, there is a granny, a snoring granny. Can you snore? Yeah. A snoring granny on a cozy bed in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. Do you see that child? I wonder where he's going. He's got his blanket. Oh, he's snuggling up with his granny. And on that granny, there is a child, a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. Oh, look down below. See that dog? He's stretching. And on that child, there is a dog, a dozing dog on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. The dog's sleeping on his back. Oh, do you see where my thumb is? Do you see the cat? He's stretching and yawning. And on that dog, there is a cat. A snoozing cat on a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. And on that cat, there is a mouse. Oh, there he is. On that cat, there is a mouse. A slumbering mouse. Do you know what slumbering means? Yes, same thing as sleeping, huh? A slumbering mouse on a snoozing cat, on a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. Look outside the window. It's still raining. Yeah. And on that mouse, there is a flea. A flea? Oh, there he is. Here I am. Way at the tippy top. Can it be? A wakeful flea? Does that mean he's sleeping? No, he's wide awake, isn't he? A wakeful flea on a slumbering mouse, on a snoozing cat, on a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. Well, not everyone. Everyone except the flea, huh? He's wakeful. A wakeful flea who bites the mouse. Squeak, squeak. Who scares the cat. Meow. Who claws the dog. Yow. bumps the child? Thump. Who bumps the granny? Bump. Look at him now. Who breaks the bed? Creak, crash, crash, huh? Look at him. In the napping house where no one now is sleeping. You see all those characters? See Granny? Can you find the child? And the dog? What about the cat? How about the mouse? I'm not sure, but I think that might be the mouse. And I think that the flea could be on the other fence post. Maybe so. Are they sleeping now? Oh no, they're playing. Look at the house. Does the house look like it's sleeping? Its eyes are open. The blinds are up. That is a neat story. Did you like that? How about those illustrations? They are so pretty, aren't they? Okay, so we're going to do a little activity with sequencing right now using the characters from the napping house. So I'm going to get my whiteboard here. I've got my characters, and I'm going to put that down a little bit so you can see all the characters. Let's see. How's that? Prop this up a bit. All right, so I went online and I found these little black lines, and then I colored them in and stuff. We're going to go ahead and sequence the characters in the order that they appeared, like in the story and on the bed. So let me draw a bed first. There's the foot of the bed, and then here is the head of the bed, and then let's draw the fancy schmancy bed skirt. And then we'll put a mattress on the bed and a pillow too. Okay, so there's the bed. All right, think about the story. Which character appears first in the story on the bed, on the cozy bed? You're right. It's the granny, the snoring granny. Now, who snuggles up to granny? Who comes next? The child. The dreaming child. Now, who cuddles up next after the child? Remember, he's at the bottom of the bed down below, and he gave a big stretch. Yeah, that was the dog. The dozing dog. And next, after that, yep, the snoozing cat. And the last two characters. Who slept on the cat? Yeah, the little mouse. Little mouse slept on the cat. And then who appears after that? The flea. Was the flea sleeping? No, it was awake. He was wakeful. Okay, now let's name the characters. The wakeful flea on the slumbering mouse, on the snoozing cat, on the dozing dog, on the dreaming child, and the child's on the snoring granny. Very good job sequencing that story. Hey, I'm going to show you a way that you can make your own characters for this book, and you can act out the story. So why don't you go and grab yourself a piece of paper and some crayons and maybe even a pencil, and we'll make our own characters for the story so that you can act it out. All right, join me in a second. Okay, do you have all your supplies? You should have a paper, maybe a pencil, your crayons, and ask your parents to help you with this part. I folded this paper into thirds, and then I'm taking it again and folding it in half. That way, when you open it up, you will have six spaces to draw your characters. There were six characters, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, I've taped my paper down because I can't hold it with my other hand since I'm recording, but you can certainly hold your paper. All right, so we've got our spaces. Normally, I would draw with a pencil because if I would make a mistake, I could easily erase it. but I want you to be able to see my markings. So I'm going to go ahead and draw with a black crayon. All right, so let's see. We'll do the first character, and that was Grandma, the granny. So let's draw a circle for her head. Remember to put her ears on either side of her head, and then put her bonnet on her head. She had a night bonnet on. She had little ruffles. See how I do that? Make a little scalloped edge there for some ruffles. And then let's draw some of her hair. So like whenever we do color it in, you just color her hair in like that, right? Make it gray, just color it lightly. I think I'm not going to go ahead and color it right now. You can do that when I'm done. That way I won't take up too much time. But let's draw her eyes like this, like little rainbows, because her eyes are closed. She's sleeping. Little nose, and maybe she's having a pleasant dream. So we'll draw a smile on her face. And the same with the child. We'll draw a circle for the head. Here's an ear on the left and an ear on the right. And the child had some funny hair, huh? And he had bedhead, didn't he? So we'll draw some hair like this for the child. And again, sleeping eyes and a nose and a dreaming child. Dreaming. And then we'll draw the dog. Basically, I start all my characters' faces off with a circle. And then the dog had some really shaggy hair, didn't he? And shaggy ears. So I'll just go like this and draw the ears. And dreaming eyes. Now for his nose, I'm going to make a little triangle. And then I'll make a J. And then I'll go the other way. So there's 3 characters so far. The granny, the child, the dog. Who slept on top of the dog? Yeah, the cat. So once again, make a circle. And let's make some triangle ears. And sleeping eyes. And another little triangle nose. And a J. And then I go the other way for the mouth. And how about some whiskers? Okay, so I've got 2 spaces left for my last 2 characters. Do you remember who they were? The mouse. There's a circle for his head. And then how about we'll draw 2 circles for his ears. And then maybe even half a circle for the pink part of his ears. And he's sleeping. We'll draw his eyes closed. And another little triangle nose. A J, and go the other way. Let's give that mouse some whiskers too. And then the last character is the flea. And the flea, let's draw his body, and we'll draw his head. Now, was the flea awake or was the flea asleep? He sure was. It was a wakeful flea. So I'm going to draw his eyes open and big. And then he's a little insect, so we're going to do 3 legs on one side and 3 legs on the other side. So those are your 3 characters. Now, it's pretty cool because you could cut them out with scissors, but if you can't find any scissors right now, your parents can help you if you fold your paper back up and make sure it has a really nice crease. You'll be able to tear the paper. Let's see if I can do this. Oopsies. Show you how to tear the paper. Oop. Show you how to tear the paper. See, look. I think asking your parents for help would be probably a good thing to do for this part. Ta-da! So you might want to color them first and then have your parents help you tear them out, and then you can act out your story too, right? So you'll have your grandma and you'll basically act out your story just like we did on the board. Oh, and don't forget too, whenever when you've done putting them in sequence this way, you can take them off in sequence too, right? Because the wakeful flea bit the mouse. Yow! And the mouse scared the cat. They went flying, didn't they? Meow! And the dog and the cat clawed the dog. Yow! And the child woke up, didn't he? And the child went thump. And the granny went bump. And they're all flying in the air. And do you remember what happened to the bed? It broke, right? Crash. Oh, yeah, you'll want to make your bed, too. All right, so that's an activity that you can do to act out the story. I hope y'all enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time.